A very warm welcome to all our Toastmasters for the June edition of the Pathways training sessions organized by the Program Quality Directors team. I am Kasu Nilangaratna and I will be your host for this evening. Before we move on with the main items on our agenda, let me first take a few minutes to recollect that we have done 10 fantastic sessions throughout the year and that today will be our 10th and final training for this year. The recordings from these sessions are available on YouTube for all of you to watch. And let me also take a few minutes to go through some of the links for these recordings, as well as a few other resources as well, including the Pathways competencies and co-competencies documents, the FAQs, the evaluation documents, how to enroll in Pathways, the responsibilities of the Basecamp manager, organizing your speech, your speaking voice, about uncovering the path, the black ant in a dark night, a moment in time, and working with words, and also let your body talk, active listening, and making presentations that stick. All of these recordings and all of these resources are available for you to watch on the web. Just like our previous sessions, today's program will also feature two fantastic resource persons from District 82 to tell us about two timely topics which will provide all of us with insights as to how we can enhance our communication and leadership journey through Toastmasters. If you have any questions relating to these two sessions while they're going on, please feel free to use the question and answer chat option in Zoom to give your questions, and we will take up these questions towards the end of the program when we do our question and answer segment. As John C. Maxwell said, if you want to do a few small things right, do them yourself. If you want to do great things and make a big impact, learn to delegate. And to learn more about the subject of delegation, we have with us a very special resource person from the district. He's an entrepreneur running his own company, Foyo Management Services. He has been a member of the Millennium Toastmasters Club since 2003 and has held all the leadership positions at the club and is also a distinguished Toastmaster. He has been the conference chair for the District Conference Ovation in 2015. He is also a past district director in 2017-2018 program year, where he led District 82 to be the #1 district in the world. Please join me in welcoming distinguished Toastmaster Ajantha Jayawardena to enlighten us on why delegation is the key to success.
Good evening, all of you all. Delegation is what is very important, and I would like to make a point here that we became #1 in the world purely on by delegating our work. Myself and along with the district chair, we made sure that we delegated our work so that each one had time to do other things. Can we also have the next slide, please? I won't read this, or could, since it is on the screen, so could please, you can go ahead, but make sure that we try and delegate everything whatever possible. But the biggest problem or obstacle we have at present is that people are afraid to delegate. Forget about all that. Take courage and try to delegate our work. What happens mostly is we feel we are not confident enough to delegate. So don't worry about it. Mistakes will happen. Go forward. Can we have the next slide, please? The barriers where we have when we go to when we have delegation: lack of confidence. As I just stated here, confidence is the key. You can't get confidence without starting somewhere down the line. Don't wait, think that you will get the confidence and then go forward. Forget about everything in this. Go forward and you will make mistakes. Through mistakes, you will learn. Now, good examples you will take from the corporate and the Toastmasters. I will be taking all the examples when I'm giving my presentation. So make sure you are confident enough, and do get that confidence. The best place is the Toastmasters. Because whatever mistake you do, people will acknowledge you, and your evaluator will tell you where you went wrong later on and try to improve on it. But you cannot do that same thing at your workplace. Your workplace is quite different. So try and make sure you get your confidence in this Toastmasters organization. Then subject knowledge. You must make sure that you know the subject, what you are doing. If you take Toastmasters, example I take is again, you should know, if you are the division director or area director, you should be thorough in what you know or what you are trying to do as a division director or as an area director. We have the manuals. You can go through the manuals, read the manuals, see how things. Reading alone doesn't help you. So you need to have practical experience. So this is why it is very important. I always say, if you go step by step, you will learn. Because along only reading the book manuals, you will never be able to do 100% job. So go step by step. While doing that, you will learn, and you will learn the mistakes. You start with small mistakes, and you can go up the ladder. In the corporate world, if you take the corporate world, it's very simple. Whatever you are doing in your position, you should know you are 100% sure what you are doing. If you are not sure of that, then it's going to be difficult for you. Point number 3, issues with controlling. Make sure you don't control when you delegate. Give them. Don't feel that that person cannot handle it. He's not sure of the job. All that. We always tend to think we need to have control. Give the job. Tell them what you require and let them perform. Don't be selfish. Point number 4, don't be selfish. Because a lot of us, we feel we don't want to give everything out. Give out, show them. Even in the corporate world, it mostly happens in the corporate world, you are scared of your position. If you go back to the lack of confidence, the first one, here it will show you, if you have the confidence, you don't have to worry about the selfishness. That will automatically go off. So be prepared to show everything, teach everything at your Toastmasters and in the corporate world. Insecurity, next point. A lot of people, we feel we are insecure. Why are we insecure? Because we don't know the job 100%. If you know the job 100%, that's subject knowledge, then this insecurity doesn't come. Both your Toastmasters and at your corporate level, this works. So make sure you know the subject, then your insecurity just goes off. And don't be reluctant to share everything what you have. We do not want to share. We are reluctant to share all that. Be prepared, give it out. Don't worry. And make sure that you have all these six points with you, so that you are in full control. Samira, can we go to the next slide, please? This has 6 steps of delegations. So you need to now prioritize yourself. Point number 1, how do you prioritize yourself? Well, if you are we'll take the most simplest way. If you are going as a division director, prioritize before you start You should know what your priorities are, what you are going to do, what you are going to delegate, what you can do in any position. Same applies in your organization, workplace. Prioritize yourself. Then you know you are going to what you are going to delegate and what you are not going to delegate. Then match the needs with availability and ability of a person. Now here, it is very important that we select the correct person to do the job. Especially in these voluntary organizations, I have noticed, even Toastmasters, I have noticed, we tend to go with known people and friends. Why? Because we want to get into the comfort zone. Friends, I would always say, look who is capable. He may not be your friend, but if that person is capable enough to do that job, give it to him. Don't underestimate that person. So you need to find, when you're matching the need with availability and ability of a person, most important things you should look at is experience, knowledge, motivation, and able to handle this. So when you look at all these 4 points, select the correct person who is suitable for the job. When it comes to our workplace also, we tend to give a promotion or give anything to a person whom we are comfortable with. Sometimes the other person is can be more reliable, can do a better job. But since we might not be getting on with that person, or we have some sort of grudge or something like that, we don't want to give it. So forget about all those things. If you want to delegate and get on to the top of the situation, give the correct person, select the person whom you think. This friendship is not what delegation means. Delegation is person who is capable. Point number 3, assign responsibility. Now, when you find select the person whom you want to delegate, you need to be very clear what you want from that person. One thing is, you must tell him, this is, now for example, if you take a project in the Toastmasters, you need to tell, this is what you require, this is your time frame, this is your budget, this is what you have to do, and you should let him handle it. Please do not interfere in it. Remember that each person has his own style of doing things, and most of the time, the other person may do a better job than the person who is delegating. If I'm delegating it, other person may be able to handle the job well and in a better way than me. So give him a free hand, and also make sure that he keeps you informed of what's happening. It all depends on the project and how long the project has, on a daily basis or a weekly basis, every other day or something like that. So you got to be very, very specific when you are assigning responsibility at the beginning itself, and also let him select his own people for that team. You do not go to tell him to pick this person, get that person, because if anything happens, then he will turn around and tell, look, you told me to take this person did not do the job. Don't let that happen. Let that person whom you have assigned the job to select his team and go with his people. But you should only work with the person whom you delegated the job, not with his team people. Not a lot of people try to do is they try to go direct to the people also and speak. Please do not do that, because you are underestimating or undervaluing the person whom you have delegated the job. So please ensure that you give him full responsibility and let him handle it and give you the feedback. Do not go and interfere, or do not go to ask questions from the others, because end of the day, the person who as who has taken the responsibility will like to give the feedback and give you everything. The next thing, point number 4, empower. Now, you need to empower, believe. You need to believe in the person. You need to have the faith. You need to have trust, and you should be sincere. These are 4 more important things. All these 4 what I'm talking in the 4 points, with this along with empower and the 4 points here, works with the corporate level as well. You need to give full responsibility when you are giving, and ensure that you believe in these people whom you give the job. Then point number 5, establish accountability. You see, you must tell that person that this is your task. Now, for example, as I mentioned earlier also, you've got to have, if it's an organization, you must say this is what you're accountable. You are going into this thing, into the project. Your KPIs will be there. Your task. Gone off. All right. Right. Okay. And with this, everybody likes to take responsibility or accountability to what they do. But we always think that no, we don't want to, that person doesn't like. But most important thing is every individual likes to do something and they are prepared to do, give them the job. And this is a two-way system where the person who takes the responsibility also will learn something new, and he will also will come out with flying colors. He will definitely want to show and prove that he can do this job with his team. So make sure that you give that, tell them what you require exactly. And the point number 6 is recognize and celebrate. You know, once the person achieves or does the job or completes, recognize him. Let the others know who did this project, who spearheaded the project, and who were the team members. Not only him, his team members also must be recognized. Now, this is something in the corporate world also a lot of people don't tend to recognize. Give recognition. Tell the management in the corporate world, this is the person who did this job and his team. Automatically, people will start respecting you. People will start believing in you also. And you are going to come into a situation where you will be able to do anything, whatever you want. So when you make sure that you recognize them, talk about their achievements, let them feel that they have done a great job and be proud of themselves. Can we go to the next item, please? Next, yes. Benefits of delegation. Now here, I have put in 5 points. Empowerment. Now, by doing this delegation, the learnings what I got, I realized in both in the corporate world as well as in Toastmasters. Well, I was also doing a job. I was running my own by that time when I joined, when I became the district director, I had retired from my place and I had to start on my own. So it was a lot of effort I had to put in. So I made sure that when I empowered people to do their job, I realized how things became easy for me. Right? Then point number 2, you increase your productivity and quality because you have enough time when you delegate. to see, you think of other things. How to run the thing, how to do the smart, do whatever day-to-day problems. If you can projects, all the major projects, if you can hand it over, that will be the success for you and you will benefit on this. Point number 3, reduction of cost. When you say reduction of cost, now this is not only monetary value, this is timing, your time, how much of time you have reduced or saved. Otherwise, you would have to do this. So this will help you to do or other put your effort and thinking to something else. And next one is you will have more time. Think of yourself and you will also start enjoying what you are doing. Biggest problem here, what I feel is we always say we are stressed out after the during that period of and we are waiting to finish that year. I think that's a very, very stupid or unethical statement you all make, most of you all make. Don't say that it's, I'm stressed out. Or enjoy what you are doing. If you don't enjoy what you are doing, then it's of no use. Remember, whatever you do, if you can't enjoy and if you are stressed, then that means there is something radically wrong in how you are planning and all that. So the best way is when you start delegating, you will realize how things become very easy for you to do. Then the final one is innovations and greater commitment. Your commitment is more, you have more time. Same thing, this will help at the corporate level. Once you start delegating and doing things, suddenly you will find you have enough time in your plate to do anything else. That's the time you should capitalize and start looking at other things. Or if you take the corporate world, then the management will start thinking and realizing that you have much more things you can do and you can achieve. They will also start recognizing you and start giving you things where you can start taking in more and start delegating to others to do this. Remember, it's a win-win situation. It's not only you who's going to gain this. The others who are supporting you are also going to gain. So it is going to be a win-win situation for everybody here. The next slide is the final slide. Samira. Final one is, I would like to just touch a little bit on how I was successful in running this district in that year. So we did. Here, I would say in my year, we had almost 10 projects. But I must say, I never got started looking at it on a daily basis. These 10 projects are given to people to handle. Of course, I handpicked some of these people and I realized these people can do it. And it was a very successful projects. All those projects are 100% successful. In the sense, there were projects which I told we had to find financiers. District didn't give financiers. They themselves who had the projects found the financiers. I chipped in wherever I was able to. So this is where we need, if you start delegating and finding proper people, it is very easy. Another good example is, I would say that in our year, the district mid-year training was done in Sri Lanka. And we had all the international president was here. That was from our Sri Lanka international president. Then the CEO of Toastmasters International was here. From 2 districts, the regional advisors, all of them were there with the district trios. So we hosted a project where we had got all the members to come and interact with all these Toastmasters International hierarchy people, and we had a presentation with the CEO Dan Rex and our international president also. And that was a very highly successful project that I must say was handled by HNB Toastmasters, and we had 100% attendance. So this is where you should tell at the beginning of the project, what do you want, what do you expect, what is your goal. If you can give all those things, then we can achieve what you want. So at the end of the day, with my team, we handled with the ovation and the reverberation, we did almost 10 projects. All those 10 projects were handled by 10 different people with 10 teams. And we gave recognition to all of them. End of the day, people like to be recognized. People want to be known that they did the job. So that is what is very important. Even in the corporate world, that is very important. Remember, money is not everything. I always thought and I always said that don't think of monetary value alone when you are doing things. A lot of people in the corporate world are saying, why should I do this? I'm not paid extra for this job. Don't think that way. Remember, anything what you can do, do it. Automatically the benefits will come. It will be a short-term benefit, in a long-term benefit, benefits will come, you won't know when it starts coming. So remember that monetary value is not everything. And do whatever you can so that end of the day, you will receive what you have achieved and the satisfaction you get by doing it. We wouldn't have been able to handle all this if we did, the district show did this. We wouldn't have been able to be the #1 district in the world if the three of us started trying to do this project, all these projects. So it is up to you and your people to ensure you find the correct person to delegate and deliver. But you should be in touch with all of them. You know, as I earlier said, you don't have to meet them. You can ask the team leader, just give me a brief of what is happening on a daily basis. And once you get that, you know what is happening. If it's finances, how are the finances? If you don't have, please tell. And you must tell them that don't wait till the last minute if the problem is there to tell. Just find the problem early and tell so that you can find a solution. In the corporate world also, we have a big problem here. We see is that people don't want to come and tell the problems. And good news travels very fast. Bad news travels very slow in the corporate world. So same way in this thing, bad news travels very slow. So remember, if you can establish yourself and find the problem much in advance, then you can find a solution. But you can't find a solution in the last minute. So ensure that always, whenever you do something, tell them that if there is a problem, please let me know, or so that we can do whatever we can at that time, rather than the 11th hour, you can't do anything. You will never be able to find a solution for this. So with that, my program of delegation, the key to success, is finished, and all questions will be taken at the end of the project. Over to you, Samira.
Thank you very much, sir, for delivering a very timely session for all of us. And I'm sure that everything that you told us today will be extremely beneficial for all the Toastmasters in the audience today. And I'm sure that everyone, if we had the opportunity to, we would be giving you a very loud round of applause right now. But unfortunately, with the technological issues, I think I'm the only one who is able to do that. Let me invite back distinguished Toastmaster Ajantha Jayawardena and also Toastmaster Niroshan Dharmakanta to join us for the question and answer session. Let me also take this opportunity to invite our Program Quality Director, distinguished Toastmaster Shriyanti Salgadu, to join us for the question and answer session as well. We've had a few questions coming through the registration forms that we sent out, but you can always use the question and answer option in the chat below as well to ask any questions that you may have. So to kick things off, let me direct our first question of the day to distinguished Toastmaster Ajantha. So DTM Ajantha, we've had a question coming. Is it okay for one EXCO member to play multiple roles on a continuous basis?
Can you repeat that? What do you mean? I would like to repeat that question.
Okay. or is it acceptable for one exco member to play multiple meeting roles on a continuous basis?
I don't think it's a good thing, because first and foremost, there should be no multiple roles being taken by any member. If there are no members of the meeting, it's fair enough, but try to avoid taking multiple roles.
Thank you very much, sir. Our next question goes to Toastmaster Niroshan. Toastmaster Niroshan, can we do two paths at the same time? And how fast can we move from one level to the next level?
Okay, let me put it in this way. Like I was explaining in the Pathways mentoring program, there is always recommendations, there are always rules and regulations. Now, when it comes to recommendation, which means when you do certain things in a certain way, it is recommended for you to do it that way. Now, for the question that you asked, it is whether we can do two paths simultaneously at time. Now, my question to the question would be, why would you do that? Because doing two paths together means that you will be doing the same projects again in a short period of time, where your learning curve on a certain attribute or a certain educational level will be repeated at very short. And if you ask me how soon can you complete it, it depends. It totally depends on how you want to take it. But my recommendation would be, take your time if you do have time, because there's no rush. This learning curve is something that you need to take it, process it, and also do it right. If you go through the Pathways program, you will always see that there's project checklists that you need to go through for each project that you do. Make sure you read every word of it and abide by that, go through that, because that's when you're very experienced. That would be my recommendation. Do one path, complete it, move on to the next one. And if you want to complete a certain path very quickly, or you want to have the urge to learn a lot, that's fine. That's totally fine. But there's no harm in taking time and getting to know things better.
Toastmaster Niroshan for that answer. Do we have DTM Sriyanti?
Yes, Kasan, you can ask me. I know I'm not on video, but you can ask your question.
Sure, madam. So the question directed to you, madam, would be, how can we stand out by playing the timer and our counter roles? When selecting the best role players at a club meeting, no one seems to consider these two role players for the meeting award segment. So how can we stand out with these two roles?
Thank you for that question, Kasan. Well, it all depends on how you do the role, because you can stand out even if you're the timer. It's how you look at that role, really. And there have been times that in my own club, I had to use my own club because I haven't been when the meeting roles have been awarded, but we've had the timer being awarded as the best role player. We've having the counter as the best role player, table topics master as the best role. I think in almost every role has had a chance of becoming the best role player. It all depends on how you look at it and how you play the role. Even the timer's role, you can just say, okay, the timing is. Or you can introduce your role in a way that it could be impressive. So it depends on how you play the role and try to get the best role player.
If you don't mind, let me also add to that particular question. So this is one of my experiences at a club meeting where I played the role of a timer and they were electing the best role player. Now, I actually went on and then gave a quote about what time is all about and how it is essential for everyone, and played it in a bit of a different way. And the members accepted that I played the role exceptionally, and I was able to actually win the role, best role player. So again, for the answering the question, you can actually do that.
That gives a clear answer, Niroshan. Even I have been the best role player, having played the counter as well as the timer. Even I have won those awards. So you can make it a difference up to you to be innovative. Give it differently without reading out that script. And I'm sure you will be one day the best timer or the best star counter and win the Best Role Play Award. Over to you, Kasun.
Thank you very much, madam, and thank you very much, Rosni Roshan, as well, for that wonderful answer. So our next question comes in from the chat box, and I would like to direct this to Toastmaster Niroshan. Can a Toastmaster who has completed both competent communicator and competent leader in traditional education program do the mentoring short-term assignment of 6 months after having completed Pathways Level 2?
I think the question is that when you have completed your traditional, some other projects, or let me read that question again for me to understand. Okay, CC and CL in the traditional education program, as well as after completing level 2. So yes, the short answer would be yes. If you do complete level 2, that's when you have the ability to enroll in the pathway mentor program. Until otherwise, you will not see that particular program appearing on your base. Yes,
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Niroshan. Our next question is also on the Pathways mentoring program. So I'd like to direct this once again to Toastmaster Niroshan. But of course, I'd like to invite our other panelists also to voice their opinions on this. So the question is as follows. We already have a mentorship program implemented in the club, whether the mentors help protege on Pathways as well. How is Pathways mentor program different to the one that we already have in the club?
Mentoring is something that I think the question is from Toastmaster Desha from SJMS Toastmasters Club. So the answer would be mentoring is something that we learn from day one. That when we as kids, we learn it from our parents, how they guide us, how they make sure that we do the right thing and avoid the wrong things that we do. It's something that is within us. It's not something that we really need to go through a training and come up and say, okay, I am a mentor now. But of course, when it comes to Toastmasters, there are certain attributes that you need to have to become a mentor within Toastmasters. So this Toastmasters Pathway Mentor Program is all about how do you become a better mentor within Toastmasters. Of course, it's not just limited to Toastmasters. You can take the learning out of this outside and apply it to your day-to-day life as well.
Very much for that answer, Toastmaster Niroshan. And I'd like to direct our next question to DTM Ajantha.
Yes.
So the question is as follows. I have heard that mentoring is a short-term goal and coaching is a long-term goal. Please clarify. A club coaches for 2 years, while a club mentor continues only for 6 months, if I am correct.
Although the manual says that it's only for 6 months, I don't believe in that. I personally feel if you are a mentor club, you should be there till they can get on their feet and do things alone. We think we cannot give them time frame. Sometimes you have to give, if you say 1 year even, they will never be able to handle it. So I personally feel the more often you go into the club and make sure that you can put them on their feet faster, that will be the best. No point giving time frames. These time frames doesn't work because sometimes we don't admit to that. So my personal feeling, personal opinion is, please, if you are a mentor or a coach for a club, make sure that club can be sustained. Otherwise, please do not accept that just for the sake of being a mentor or a coach. So that is the most important thing for a mentor or a coach to see. If they are taken up those roles, they should ensure that club survives at least 2-3 years. Once that is established, the club will on their own then can go on. If you take all these clubs which have been there for quite some time, the first few years, the mentors and the coaches were there to hold their hands. After that, the members took over, and the members realized that they should not allow these clubs to die off. And try to sustain your charter members because they are the pillars of any club. Hope that answers the question.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes.
Cousin, let me add a little bit to that. When the question has been asked whether club coach is there for 2 years, the actual time period is 2 years, but you can see that the club gets coached and becomes distinguished even within 6 months. During a short-term period, even it's a short-term goal, whereas the mentor is appointed at the beginning of chartering of the club. And as DTM Ajantha said, don't think of it as a 6 months program. It's a long-term program. Though TI recommends 6 months, we need to see that the club is stable. That's an essential part of that whole program. Whereas club coach, the entire duration given for the club coach is 2 years. Within 2 years, you need to see that the club stands on its 2 feet. But there is no time frame that you can't finish it quicker. That's the answer for that, Toastmaster Kasun. Over to you.
Thank you very much, madam. And we have one final question that I'd like to direct for DTM Ajantha. And we also have another question on pathways, but I think in the interest of time, I would appreciate Toastmaster Niroshan if we could answer that on the chat itself. So the question to DTM Ajantha, how would you differentiate delegation from empowerment? How would you differentiate?
Empowerment is basically you should have really know the person properly, and as I said, you need to believe in that person, faith, sincere, and trust. That those 4 credentials should be there for you to empower. Delegate is what you feel whoever is the best person to do the job. It doesn't matter whoever it is, but select the right person. This is the biggest problem we are facing. As I told, we are not selecting the correct person for the correct job, and then it becomes a failure. So hope we start at least selecting the correct person for the correct job and go forward. So that's okay, the answer.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. And with that, we have come to the end of our question and answer segment. But in case you do have any more questions, please do put them into the Q&A feature here on Zoom, and we will try to answer them as best as we can in the chat. Now, although we are done with the question and answer segment, please do not leave yet because today is the last training program in our segment. And before we wrap up today's session, let's hear a few words from some amazing individuals. And let me also take a minute to recognize some of the individuals who have joined us today. One, our Club Growth Director and incoming Program Quality Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Nisal Virakon. Our current Program Quality Director and incoming District Director, DTM Shriyanti. And of course, our current District Director, DTM Nurul Munawara. So let's start off with hearing a few words from the Assistant Program Quality Chair for the, Assistant Club Quality Chair for District 82. That is none other than Distinguished Toastmaster Hingston Lovell. Hingston, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kasun Ilangaratna, for the warm invitation and also for the warm welcome. First of all, I would like to thank all our members who have taken part in this training program. I would like to, it will not be a typical vote of thanks, but still, I will fail my duty if I did not thank few individuals who were behind me, who were guiding me, who were supporting me to conduct all these 10 educational sessions. So even though I call it 10, we actually had 2 sessions per each. That means we had 20 sessions. So thank you so much for all the resource people. We started off with some basic educational sessions on pathways, and then we went on to explore more areas on public speaking, and even we went on to discuss about art of negotiation. Also, we went on to speak about how Toastmasters will benefit you in terms of your personal and professional life when you play the roles of Toastmasters meeting roles, when you play the role of club executive role, and all that. So let me take another moment to thank the district director, distinguished Toastmaster Noor Al-Munawra, and distinguished Toastmaster Sriyanti Salgado for all the feedback, suggestions, and everything. If not for your support, if not for those opportunities, I wouldn't have done this with my team. Fantastic. So thank you so much. I would like to thank my friend and the club goal director, the program quality director elect, Misal Virakon, who always kept on encouraging and giving some feedback whenever it is needed. The team who was behind me, I would say the team who were behind the scene, but they don't want to come in front and they don't want to get the recognition, but I would like to recognize them. We had 3 wonderful Zoom masters for today, for this series. Toastmaster Samir Adil, who is the Zoom master for today. He has been Zoom master for about 4 sessions. Toastmaster Mayuri Bandaranayaka, who have been a Zoom master for about 5 sessions, and Toastmaster Ghazali. Toastmaster Samira and Ghazali are from Expolanka Toastmasters Club. Toastmaster Mayuri is from Virtusa Colombo Toastmasters Club. And the people who moderated these sessions and who gave that energy, who gave that boost which is needed. In the beginning, I started the moderating part, but yet I needed some help, and I got 2 wonderful people to help me with the moderating. First of all, DTM Lasni Sellaheva, who supported, and at the same time, Toastmaster Kasun Ilangaratna. Toastmaster Lasni is from several clubs, and Toastmaster Kasun is from Virtusa Colombo Toastmasters Club, the president of Virtusa Colombo Toastmasters Club. So thank you so much to all of you for making this program, to making this show a reality. And most importantly, all the individual now in this screen that was shared by Kasun, you see 10 wonderful flyers. All of them were created by our very own district PR team, who were members just like you and I, but they had the commitment to create flyers and support us in terms of registration, in terms of creating promotional materials and promoting them through the district channels. So thank you so much to our district public relations manager, distinguished Toastmaster Mafaz, Tarika, Tariq, who were the people behind these creative ideas. So with that, I would like to thank the special people, that is all of you, our very own District 82 members. On an average, we had about 100 people attending this session. Fantastic. Thank you so much. And as always, as Sriyanti says, we did not give any points for any clubs if you attend these sessions. Without any of those external expectations, you attended this only to learn. Thank you so much. Keep on learning, and I'm sure these educational sessions would have given you a lot of benefits. Keep on sharing. All of these materials are available in the District 82 YouTube. So please feel free to go there, give your comments, give your feedback. And until that, take care and stay safe. Over to you, Toastmaster Kasan.
Thank you very much, DTM Hinkstead. And we also have someone very special to us, that is our current program quality director and the incoming district director, the distinguished Toastmaster Sriyanti here. Could I invite you to speak a few words, madam?
Thank you, Kasun. Well, I think we had an ideal program today when distinguished Toastmaster Ajantha spoke about delegating. Now, Toastmaster Hingston was delegated to do this. And I think he has done a wonderful job for all these 10 sessions. Of course, the team got together to discuss what we were going to do. However, the entire credit, I think, as Kasun says, we can't give a round of applause virtually, but it deserves a definite round of applause for these programs. Toastmasters, if you were not there, we wouldn't have been able to do this. So I do hope that you'll have taken a lot of learning from this. And I believe Toastmaster Nisal will continue these programs with various other programs. This has been one of the best programs, specifically because we have not given you any points, but to correct Kingston, we've actually had approximately 130 average participants for the entire program. For each program, the average is 130, which is, I believe, really good. So Toastmaster Kingston, a really very big thank you to you and the team which you have brought in. A very special thank you. Over to you, Kasun.
Thank you very much, madam, for those words of wisdom. And let me also invite someone who is no stranger to all of us in District 82 and a very special person to all of us who has led us throughout this entire year. And that is none other than our District Director, the distinguished Toastmaster Nurul Munawwara. Could we hear a few words from you, madam?
Yes, good evening, Kasun and the Toastmasters in the audience. Very good evening to all. What a wonderful session came to an end today after 10 months period. At the beginning of this tenure, 2021, we trio had so many discussions, planning sessions and everything. One day after completing one discussion, I said, well, now members have got used to the online platform. Why not we give some more educational session? I think every month we can give more information to the members and we can conduct new sessions so that it will be a learning for them. Well, by that time, CGD was ready with some of the items, but of course, at the beginning, there was a little bit reluctant in how to plan it and everything. But after 2 months, the PQD team came with a plan. So the members had an opportunity to learn what they don't learn at the meetings. All of us, we attend meetings and we always learn about the meeting roles and so much of things. But these 10 programs was brought by 20 different resource persons and 20 different segments, and members had opportunity to learn new things. Even the people who had little knowledge about these subjects, they had an opportunity to learn much from these resource persons. What I did really like in this session is every resource person, all the resource persons shared their own experiences. So sharing experiences bring a lot of impact on the members. So because what they share is their own experience. They always compare the experience and the learning from the Toastmasters. So members had an opportunity to compare the learning and the experience. So I take this opportunity to appreciate each and every one of the PQD team who were behind this educational session. At one point, I remember, I think either Amal or Hingston, they came and told me, these are the sessions that we have done. Then I said, but what are the things we can do? Then I said, why not you ask your members what they want from us? So then I learned that all of you got together and requested members what they want from us, and you try to give them whatever they want. So It's a huge process, but I really take this opportunity to appreciate Kingston, Amal, and the PQDT for bringing these very good learning programs throughout these 10 months. I am sure these 10 most of the members must have learned a lot. As PQD said, the average attendance was 125. 100, even if we had all these programs in person, I am sure I have my very doubt at least 7 more. We had more than 75 members in presence. So this is an opportunity. So online, last year at the beginning, there was a reluctance for people to come online and learn something and to attend meetings. But this 1 year made a huge difference. One entire year we ran on virtual platform, and we were able to learn a lot, and members came up with different creative ideas, and everyone, each and every Toastmaster learned at least some new techniques to use the virtual platform. That is the beauty of the Toastmasters. So at this point, I appreciate each and every resource person. Maybe some of the resource persons must be in this audience, to appreciate each and everyone who contributed their knowledge, their experience with other Toastmasters, and the entire PQ DTM Kingston Lowell, Toastmaster Amal Khalwarachi, Shiham Nawaz, and Lasni Sallaheva, and Kasun Ilangaratna, together with other Zoom masters. All of you have done wonderful job. My appreciation to each and every one who made this program a fruitful one. I am sure next year we will be having much advanced programs for members to learn. And also, being the CGDs in this platform, I take this opportunity to appreciate Club Growth Director together with Club Growth team for bringing the membership forum segment, 6 membership forum segments throughout this year. Thank you very much. And thank you everyone in the audience for making this tenure a special one. Over to you, Kasun.
Thank you very much, madam. It was a pleasure to hear from you as well. And with that, we are officially at the end of our session for today. However, I would like to make a kind request to all the members of our audience today to please visit the feedback link before you depart from today's meeting and offer us your feedback on what you felt about today's session and how much you enjoyed it. It has been my pleasure to have been your host for this evening, but of course, all good things must come to an end. So I bid you all adieu and wish you all a very pleasant evening ahead after you have finished giving your feedback. Thank you very much and a pleasant good night to you all.